Yo, hello, Malcolm of Joy once again. Hello, hello, hello. Just a little more love for the day. Just a drop, just a kiss. Still reading from Seductress. Good stuff, good stuff. The last line of the last sentence said, "A woman who can tap the buried male hunger and provide even a pale reflection of the great sex goddess and a fraction of her everything can name her man." Such wisdom, timeless wisdom. So, 6 seduction myths we can get into. See if we can get through maybe half of them today. Okay. Since the dawn of patriarchal civilization, seductresses have been enveloped in a pall of myth. They were a little too powerful for patriarchal consumption. Hence the campaign to throw women off the scent with a string of siren pretenders. Each chapter targets a different fallacy and treats a group of seductresses in Western history who shatter the stereotype. They fall into 6 categories: non beauties, seniors, intellectuals, artists, not muses, and 2 commanded types: governmental leaders and high octane adventurers. Non beauties. The first and most insidious falsehood in the seductress. pardon me. The first and most insidious falsehood is that seductresses must be young and beautiful. Silliness. Temptresses of song, story, and prime TV always have a wolf whistle dimensions and cover girl faces. From evolutionary psychologists to image stars, authorities remind us that if we want men, we have to look sensational. Authorities remind us, sorry, we have to look sensational. Big baby blues, flat abs, bazongas, and a perfect waist to hip ratio. When we think of seduction, we think of lanky blondes stun gunning a male lineup. And we think of supermodels flying first class with money gods, which does happen, but that's not everything. Shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger and his housemate. Yeah, I digress. We hear the full old folk adages. The love thoughts of men have always been a perpetual meditation of beauty. And love is the love of the beautiful. As a result, women knock themselves out cosmetically. 10 times more women than men, more than a million in 2002 alone, have plastic surgery, desperately tucking, lifting, lipoing, and augmenting in hopes of a romantic lotto. Mr. Right, who keels over at the perfect look, quote unquote, and supplies the Range Rover and Suburban treatment. A survey of the tragic love lives of beauty icons and the current single scene dispels this fiction. Time and time again. Over the decades, from your mother to your grandmother to great grandmothers in days of yore. Yeah. In cities everywhere, number 10 glamour girls hole up with videos on Saturday nights, sidelined and manless. Many seductresses, of course, were fabled beauties, but most of the great enchantresses, like the very ugly Pauline Viardot or hook-nosed Cleopatra, lacked either looks, youth, or both, and often lived in eras more obsessed with beauty than our own. Seniors. Similarly, the ravages of age didn't deter seductresses from reeling in the most desired men of their times. In popular culture, senior sex appeal is a comedy club oxymoron. The blue-haired granny with dewlaps and stalactite udders in hot pursuit of pool boys. Hit on a dinosaur cracks the stand-up the way you would someone in your age range. Ask about her prescriptions. Ask if she's ever done it in a golf cart. Womp, womp, womp. Contrary to the hag propaganda, however, older women possess some of the most potent erotic weaponry in the book. Word to MILF being the second biggest category of porn in the world, but the goddess in her last phase was an uber siren. For centuries, cognoscenti have recognized and celebrated the huge allure of old dames. Anxiety about this amorous megapower in part explains the crone smear campaign. Unfacelifted, unreupholstered, dozens of seniors seductresses made conquests that would be the envy of the comeliest nymphet on the man circuit. This remains true today. Intellectuals. A third libel that bedevils the seductress involves her stupidity. According to this canard, men want airheads who ask all the right questions, play dumb, and keep their mouths shut. God, no. Adorable, vapid chicklets populate romantic comedies, and mothers still advise daughters to dumb down and let the guy talk and strut his knowledge. Please don't. You know you're usually smarter. Feminists as diverse as Simone de Beauvoir and Germaine Greer agree that you can't get a man with a brain. Yet the real manslayers were smart cookies with big mouths. The peerless Greek courtesan Aspasia taught Socrates, founded a school of philosophy, and wrote her lover Pericles' speeches. In fact, most seductresses talked brilliantly and knew what they were talking about. Tantric scriptures read that the highest splendor of the yoni is the flame of intelligence, and Neolithic goddess cults attributed all known and unknown wisdom to their sex deity. Yes, that's just a smart place to stop for the day. Like, sexy and smartness can go into the same package. I'm right here. I love you.